Vinita ji?
Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Sorry. Good afternoon, friends. I welcome all the members of the Inner Wheel community in India. I welcome you all today on World Mental Health Day to the national webinar on mental health awareness, Mind Matters. I'm Dr. Vinita Chopra and I'm going to be your MC today. I request Association President Mrs. Riddhi Gugdani to call her herself, please. I also request Dr. Mittal and District Chairman 319 Mrs. Rekha Sridhar to call her themselves. Thank you. Now I request Association President Mrs. Preeti Gugdani to declare the webinar open.
Thank you, Vinita ji. I declare this national webinar on mental health awareness open.
May I request all of you to rise for the inner wheel prayer?
Instill in us, O Lord, the true meaning of friendship. Never let us forget that we are all thy children. Notwithstanding the difference in our culture and creeds, endow us with a desire to serve our fellow men, remembering that we too often need help whenever, wherever the need for the service arises. Help us to be ready to serve, endeavoring to make a badge of inner wheel worthwhile, ensuring that we have not lived in vain.
Friends, the World Mental Health Day is observed on 10th October every year with the overall objective of raising awareness of mental health issues around the world and mobilizing efforts in support of mental health. It was celebrated for the first time on October 10, 1992. But up until 1994, the day had no specific theme other than general promoting mental health advocacy and educating the public. In 1994, World Mental Day was celebrated with a theme for the first time, which was improving the quality of mental health services throughout the world. This year, it is an opportunity for people and communities to unite behind this year's theme, which is mental health is a universal human right. I now request District Chairman 301, Dr. Urvashi Mittal, to welcome the guests with her opening remarks.
Thank you, Vinita ji. Hare Krishna. Warm inner wheel greetings, respected Association President Preeti Gugdani ji,
District Chairman, Co-host, District 319, Rekha Sridhar, Association Executives, District Chairman from other districts, District Executives of all districts, Guiding Lights, International Nobel Past Presidents, all pillars of support, past District Chairman present, club leaders, members, and guests. I extend a warm welcome to each one of you to our webinar on Mind Matters. It's truly a privilege to have such a diverse and engaged audience joining us today from various corners of our country. In today's fast-paced and ever-changing world, the importance of understanding and nurturing our mental well-being cannot be overstated. Our webinar aims to delve deep into the intricacies of the human mind, exploring topics such as mental health, resilience, mindfulness, and much more. Our esteemed speakers will share their insights and experiences, providing you with valuable knowledge and tools to enhance your mental well-being. This webinar is not just an opportunity to gain knowledge, but also a platform for open dialogue and discussions. Together, we embark on a journey to explore the depths of our minds and discover the ways in which mind matters in our lives. Without further ado, let us commence this enlightening journey. Thank you for being here, and let's make this webinar an enriching.
Thank you, Dr. Urvashi Mittal. We at Inner Wheel always endeavor to improve knowledge, raise awareness, and drive actions that promote and protect everyone's health, whether physical or mental, which is a universal human right. Friends, we have two sessions today of the webinar. The speaker of the first session is Ms. Riddhi Mittal. She will be speaking on matters of the mind or mind matters. The second keynote speaker will be Ms. Crystal Sean, and she will be speaking on neurobics. I request all of you to kindly write down your questions at the end of each speaker's talk in the chat box, and I will take the questions from there, and your queries can be answered by our esteemed speakers. I now request Dr. Urvashi Mittal to welcome the first keynote speaker, Ms. Riddhi Mittal.
Thank you, Vinita ji. It gives me immense pride and joy to welcome a remarkable individual to our Mind Matters webinar today. She has shattered barriers and made a name for herself on the global stage. What sets her apart is not only her impressive professional journey, but also her unwavering dedication to mental health advocacy. She has pioneered groundbreaking intellectual property that has the potential to transform lives in a matter of hours. Yet, beyond her impressive accolades, she remains grounded, a proof to her belief in helping others and forging her unique path. She has always been a front runner, never settling for anything less than fast. And her drive to overcome challenges is an inspiration to us all. Please join me in extending the warmest welcome to this extraordinary individual, my daughter, a shining example of what dedication, passion, and a heart full of compassion can achieve. Welcome, Riddhi, to National Webinar on Mental Health.
Friends, let us give her a big hand.
Thank you so much for a very kind introduction. Let me know when I can start, Mom.
We will, definitely.
Okay, perfect.
I now request PDC Nisha Bhargav, who is also the Health Committee Chairperson, District 301, to formally introduce our esteemed speaker, Ms. Riddhi Mittal. Nisha ji.
Thank you, Vinita ji. Good afternoon, friends. Chief Guest Association President Preeti Gugnani ji, both host district chairmen, dignitaries, and all sweet Inner Wheel sisters. Today, we have the privilege of being in the presence of a true visionary and leader in the field of mental health. Our guest speaker has dedicated her career to finding innovative solutions in this field. I am here to introduce today's our young energetic guest speaker, Riddhi Mittal. Born and brought up at Agra, always a topper, eldest of three sisters, Riddhi did her schooling from DPS RK Puram, Delhi, went to Stanford University for further education and masters. She is a technology entrepreneur. She was named Forbes 30 under 30 Asia in 2017. She is a strong mental health advocate and has created unique IP, which can create outcomes shifts possible using traditional therapy in 4 to 18 months in 24 hours. She is now using generative artificial intelligence to scale her IP globally across countries. In her past, in 2020, she founded a 800% pan-India volunteer effort to help with COVID relief efforts. She has been widely covered in mainstream media across countries, be it in the Wall Street Journal, the BBC, or the Economic Times, Financial Times, HT, and two-time TEDx speaker. We all are looking forward to hearing what Riddhi has to say. Welcome, dear Riddhi.
Thank you so much for a very wonderful introduction. Speaking of Forbes, I'm actually at the Forbes Global Conference right now in Ohio, Cleveland, in the United States. So it's 6:15 a.m. here. I'll request everyone, let's be as interactive as possible. I will try and monitor the chat window. So anything I say, if you agree with that, I'd love to hear. If you disagree with that, I'd love to hear. If you had an insight, I would love to hear. And if you have a question, I would love to hear. So that way it's more fun for all of us. Is it okay for me?
Good morning.
Thank you. Mom, is it okay for me to start now?
Yeah, Vinita ji, yeah?
Please.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me one moment. Okay. I think I can look at the screen. I also want to make sure I can look at the chat window. Just give me one moment. Okay, so. Okay, perfect. Let's do this. So today is World Mental Health Day, as we all know. Now, I am very, very passionate about this topic, but not to pay lip service to it. I think a lot of people talk about words like mindfulness and resilience and meditation, but no one is really teaching us exact techniques. And I don't mean things like, oh, go out into the sunlight, eat healthy food, sleep on time. Yes, all of those are extremely important, but there is more that we can do. I think we're all tired of hearing go out into the sunlight and eat healthy food and sleep better, right? We all know how to do that. But when you're depressed, when you're in trauma, when you're having marital conflict, when you're having conflict within the family, when you're having deep depression, you need something more than sunlight, because at that point, you don't even feel like turning on the light of the room. So the problem is not that you don't know where the light switch in the room is. The problem is you don't feel like turning it on. So what I am going to share is techniques that help you want to feel like turning that light switch on, because we all know where the light switch is. We don't need to be told where the light switch is. Now, this actually, what I'm going to share today is not therapy. It's learnings from the experiences of thousands and thousands of people and women and mothers globally, across countries, across cultures, who have struggled with mental health concerns, because honestly, all of us have. And they've come out the other side. So that's learnings from them. I always like to start with a joke. So telling a depressed person to just be positive is like telling an asthmatic person to just breathe. There is so much air. Why don't you just breathe, right? But a person with asthma cannot just breathe. So just be positive is not a helpful statement or an effective statement. So we'll see what is. Now, first things first, even before we shift ourselves, yes, we alone have the power to shift our environment. The way we talk, the words we use, the behavior we have, we can shift our entire environment. But, and this is important, the environment we're surrounded by, our family and our work environments, if the environment is not validating, nothing you do will cause happiness in you. So I want to share more about that because research has shown that the most impactful variable for your mental health is the environment you're in. See, for example, we work with lots of mothers who have a great supportive workplace, but their family environment is not supportive. Or we work with mothers where the family environment is supportive, but the workplace environment is not supportive. Now, in any of these cases, environment matters more to your mental health than any other variable. Those variables can be your accomplishments, your degrees, your finances, your location, your geography, the opportunities that you have, the positive outlook that you have. None of that matters as much as your environment. I want to give an example. Making someone feel seen, heard, and understood is the loudest way to love them. We claim to love people in all sorts of ways. There's also a generational gap here. We can't do for our kids what we've never experienced ourselves. So if the generation that I'm speaking to, if your parents provided for you financially, materially, but did not emotionally validate you, it is okay that you will have trouble emotionally validating your kids because you haven't experienced that yourself. But at the same time, the need for your kids to be emotionally validated by you, in addition to the financial security that you provide, in addition to the logistical, care that you provide, is valid. So I want to talk about what emotional validation means. So emotional validation is step number 1. Only after emotional validation can we achieve step number 2, which is awareness or curiosity of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Once we have awareness and curiosity, then we go on to what to accept and what to change. And only then can we go to, okay, how do we change what we want to change? So with that said, rule number 1 for everyone. Now, you're not going to be perfect with it, and that's okay. That's human. This is just a helpful rule to be mindful of. Move away from words like right, wrong, and should. Now, valid does not mean right. If someone is having an emotional moment, an emotional experience, that's valid. That doesn't mean it's right. But honestly, the word right is not right. Because right for whom? Who is defining right? Which is why right, wrong, and should are ineffective words. There are more effective words. See, ultimately in life, we don't need to be right. We need to be effective. You don't want to win the battle and lose the war. You want to win the war. So you don't need to be right. You need to be effective. So we're going to talk more about this concept as well, but keep it in mind. Now, even before I move forward, right, I want to say I love talking to women and mothers because women and mothers are disproportionately influential to every other human being on the planet. As women, we influence our partners, we influence our kids, we influence our communities, our workplaces, our societies, and our environments. So it's most important that we understand these things. I want to actually share a few things before we move forward. Who knew that there's research that shows that when a man has a daughter, they become a better boss? It doesn't happen when they have sons. It happens when they have daughters. Another thing, I work with so many mothers who so mindfully want to train their sons to become equal contributing members of their own future family. And the reason for that is they say, if I can't train my son to share the workload at home and at work 50-50, how is his future wife going to be able to be ambitious? Because the myth that women can do it all is false. Your generation was the first wave of feminism and was told, oh, great, so you want to work? Great. Well, you still have to do the homework. You still have to do the childcare. But sure, if you want, you can work. And because work gives us purpose and meaning, we worked. But we did 3 jobs. We did the home job, we did the childcare job, and we did the work. And it caused more stress and more exhaustion and more conflict in our marital relationships. So our generation doesn't want to do it all. We expect our partners to be supportive husbands. The myth that women need men to support them or provide for them, and men need women to support them as partners is false. Humans need humans as partners to support them. Everything else is after that. If you can't support someone, why would you want to be a partner to them? So with that, I want to give a few examples because examples are the best way to learn. Now, imagine someone in your family, right? Something happens with them, which they perceive as a traumatic event. Now, the key word being they perceive. It is not your right to perceive a traumatic event for someone else. It is their right. So they perceive something as a traumatic event. By the way, there's also a saying, the difference between a life event and a traumatic event is the absence of supportive, validating, emotional connection. So if you aren't connecting with your family members at the moment that they experience a traumatic event, you're actually causing them more trauma. And you need to remember that. So first thing, let's say they come to you with a traumatic event. If you say, oh, that happened for a reason, everything does, at least it's over, stay positive. That's called toxic positivity. That's not helpful. Second, if you say, that didn't happen, you just imagine things. And if it did happen, I'm sure it was your fault. That's called gaslighting. And that's not helpful. Third, if you say, well, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, it could have been worse. Just stop thinking about it. I understand that most people who say this come from a place of good intention. But our intention does not give us the right to not attempt to be more helpful to someone else in our family who we claim to care about. So these sentences are called invalidation and they are not helpful. Telling someone else that, oh, it doesn't sound so bad, it could have been worse, in the moment where they're seeking support and validation is not helpful. So let's be mindful of this. Now let's talk about what is validation. Validation is very simple. Validation says, that sounds really painful. I understand why you'd be upset. I believe you. See, here's the thing that people forget. All of us are intelligent creatures. Every single human being is intelligent. We know how to solve our own problems. We don't need your support in solving our problems. We need your support in emotional validation. If we can be emotionally validated by our families, we can solve our own problems. let's be very clear. Majority of Indian families are dysfunctional, and they're dysfunctional because we're going around using the first three techniques on our family members who we care about: toxic positivity, gaslighting, and invalidation. So let's be more mindful. Let's attempt validation. Here's even better: support. That sucks. What do you need right now? I'm here for you. Now notice the difference. It doesn't say, how can I help? It says, what do you need? Because saying, how can I help, is less effective. How does the other person know how you can help? Ask people, what do they need? And they will tell you what they need. And then you decide if you can help or not. So with that, let's move on to some more examples. Now, by the way, here's my recommendation to everybody. And it's a controversial recommendation, but I stand by it. For every single person in your life who does the first three: toxic positivity, gaslighting, invalidation, move away from them, create distance, limit contact until they realize and practice validating language. So let's talk a little bit more about what validating sentences look like and what invalidating sentences look like. Here's a few examples. I won't go through all of them, obviously, but this is just for all of you to take a quick look. So validating sentences are about reassuring the other person that they're not crazy for experiencing and feeling and thinking what they are. And it does not matter what someone is experiencing. To them, it is valid. So you make a lot of sense. I understand why you feel that way. It sounds like you're feeling X. That must have been really painful for you. Is this bringing up a fear for you? I admire your vulnerability. I admire your courage. It's okay to feel what you're feeling right now. We work with a few new mothers who want to train their sons to be able to be emotionally expressive and to be able to cry. And for some of these mothers, their own husbands are invalidating them and telling them, you can't teach our sons that. You can't teach our sons that it's okay to cry. Our sons need to be strong. And that's unhelpful. It's like blind leading the blind. If you don't have training in what's helpful or not, we end up with kids who've been parented to not be able to emotionally express. And when we repress, we overreact because we've repressed for so long that when the next tiny thing happens, all of the garbage that we've repressed comes out. That is why people overreact. So it is important to emotionally express. Now, yes, it is more important to learn to emotionally express in a healthy and helpful and effective way. But before we get there, let's make it normal to emotionally express for sons and daughters, both. Okay, now invalidating sentences, right? Look on the bright side. It could be worse. Stop being so emotional. Literally worst sentence ever. I hate when people say, calm down. Really? When in the history of the world has anyone ever calmed down by being told to calm down? It's never happened. It will never happen. Let's stop using ineffective sentences. Okay, I think you're overreacting. Perfectly horrible sentence. The other person is reacting in proportion to the feelings that they are experiencing. If you cannot validate, keep quiet. Do not invalidate. Even the first rule of healthcare is do no harm. So do no harm, because we are the ones harming our families. You are harming your families unintentionally. So it's worth practicing how to actually support our families. Now, next thing. For people who actually take therapy, here's something I want to say. Controversial, but I stand by it. Don't even let your therapist invalidate you, because in a shocking majority of cases, even the therapist, because they're human beings, can sometimes invalidate you. Accidentally unintentionally, maybe because they don't have enough practice, but it happens. And in that moment, you need to have enough self-trust to say, I do not tolerate being invalidated. So, okay. Now, because we've talked about the environment, let's talk about how we can now use our internal power to shift our environment. The power of words. Your words create your reality. So I want to give one example. Let's assume there's a conflict situation, right? In a marital relationship, let's assume you're feeling distance from your partner. Let's assume they aren't paying you enough attention, right? For any of these, here's something that we can say which does not have blame, but it expresses vulnerability. Here's an example. You are really important to me. And when you're distant, it's hard for me. When I'm sad, I just feel a strong need to know that you care. When you understand me, it helps me feel safe. Now, this is just one script and one example, but examples are how human beings learn. And notice this example does not blame the other person. This example uses kindness and vulnerability to communicate the impact of why you need them to not be so distant to you. So, okay, let's move on to the next one. This is an easy one. The power of getting help from the best. Follow great therapists on Instagram. We're in a digitally connected world. We don't need to limit ourselves to who's available in our local city or state or country. Go to Instagram, hashtag whatever problem you're facing. There's enough and more accounts. See which ones resonate with you and follow them. It's super simple, takes less than 10 minutes. Okay, the power of curiosity. This is the most important one. So here's the key underlying takeaway. People have reasons for what they think, say, and do. I will repeat. People have reasons for what they think, say, and do. You might not understand their reasons, but they always have reasons. Because of it, it's more effective for you to be curious when you don't understand their reasons. Because you do have two options, right? If you don't understand their reasons, the first option that we all do when we're not trained to be curious is we get frustrated. Oh my God, so-and-so person is irritating me. So-and-so person just doesn't understand it. So-and-so person is stupid. But they have a reason for doing and saying and thinking what they do. So here's how to get curious instead. This is just one example sentence. When someone irritates the crap out of you, you can choose to say, what experiences and observations from your past are leading you to suggest this? You have to get curious. If you don't even attempt to understand where they're coming from, do you really think that conversation can go anywhere meaningful? It can't. Okay. Here's another really, really powerful one. So let's say same situation, two different approaches, two different first reactions. So let's assume you're being ignored by someone. Let's assume you send a WhatsApp to someone and they are online. Maybe they've even read your message, but they haven't replied. Maybe it's become 2 days and 3 days and 4 days and 7 days and they haven't replied. Now, the first thing you could think is, why are they not replying? What's wrong with me? Why do they hate me? Why do they not respect me? But that's called personalizing, and it's not about you. The other option is, interesting. What's up with them? Something must be going on for them. that they're not replying. Maybe they're busy. Maybe XYZ. We become curious and we generate possibilities. The body has a very sophisticated stress response physiologically, but it doesn't fire if we think differently. So if you think, what's wrong with me? Your body is going to have a stress response. If you think, interesting, I'm curious, what's going on with them? Your body responds very differently. Okay, here's another one, mindfulness, but I'm going to tell you what this word means to us. So because of the techniques we shared, right? Every single situation is an opportunity to practice mindfulness, curiosity, compassion to self and others, and responding effectively. Now, make no mistake, this does take practice. The question is it worth it? And the answer, 1,000 times yes. So because we now understand what mindfulness means, there's a very important saying which says, when you ask God for courage, do you think he gives you courage? Or do you think he gives you opportunities to practice courage? Let me actually change the gender of the God because we're women. So next example, when we ask God for patience, do you think she gives us patience? Or do you think she gives us opportunities to practice patience, to grow our patience? And this goes on and on and on. When we ask for a better partner, do you think God gives us a better partner? Or do you think God gives us opportunities to be able to choose who is a better partner and assess and also be a better partner yourself? So I want to share one final thing. This is very, very interesting. So what happens is there's a story, the lion and the deer. Now, in the jungle, the deer sees the deer starts running, the lion starts chasing. They're both in fight or flight mode. It's called the sympathetic nervous system. But in the jungle, when the lion gets tired and the lion stops chasing the deer, and the deer knows that the lion's not coming anymore, the deer stops and the deer rests. And the deer goes back into rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. And the deer can graze and eat in that resting state. You know what humans do? And that's why we're constantly in stress. For humans, even when the lion is no longer chasing, a human mind is overactive and thinking, oh my God, what if the lion comes back again? Oh my God, what if the lion comes back with 4 other lions? What if the lion catches me next time? What if the lion bites my leg off? What if the lion comes from a different angle? What if I can't run away? Now, it is different to strategize for the future, but it's different to overthink. If you don't learn how to keep your body, how to transfer your body from fight or flight to rest and digest, if you don't learn this switch, you will always be in stress. Your cortisol will always be high. And that causes a lot of problems for your physical body. So what's the easiest way to make this switch? The easiest way is what yoga teaches us. But no one tells us that this is the reason. The easiest way is breath. Slow down your breath. Slow down your breath. Elongate your exhales more than your inhales. And that tells your body, that signals to your body, I am safe. I am in rest and digest. Let's switch me to a parasympathetic nervous system state. Okay. Now, because this is all mums, and I want to take 5 more minutes, I want to talk specifically about maternal mental health, because we can't talk to so many amazing mothers without talking about mums' mental health. So let's talk about postpartum first. Now, you must be thinking, you already experienced postpartum many decades ago. but your daughters might experience it soon. Your daughter-in-laws might experience it soon. Your friends' daughters and daughter-in-laws might experience it soon. The young women in your communities might experience it soon. So it's important to know that 1 in 4 women globally experience severe postpartum distress. It can be anxiety or depression or fear of career loss or fear of identity loss or fear of body image issues or marital conflict or even suicidal ideation. By the way, 1 in 10 new dads also experience postpartum because they feel inadequately prepared to be able to take care of their own child. So I want to share something very important and very sensitive. Often, when we accept certain situations to survive, we accidentally minimize other people's struggles. What that means is, it's obvious that life was more difficult for you than it will be for your daughters and daughter-in-laws. I mean, that's the hope, right? We live to move the world forward. That's our purpose in life. So obviously, the next generation will have it easier than you did because you did the work to ensure that they have it easier than you do. So if you did that work, if you move the world forward, then it's important to remember to not get resentful if the next generation has it easier than you. Let's not say unhelpful things like, oh, but I had to do so much more. You have to do so much less than me. Why are you complaining? Well, just because you had to do 1,000,000 times more doesn't mean their right to complain goes away. So again, when we have accepted certain situations to survive, we accidentally minimize other people's struggles. So let's attempt to not do that wherever possible. Now, because there are 2 kinds of responses, right? When you get hurt people either hurt more people. It happened with me, it should happen with you too. Or hurt people, help other people, and heal other people. It happened with me, and so I will ensure it does not happen with you. You have the choice, you have the power to determine and choose which of those options you choose. Here's another one. Me time is exceptionally important for mothers and new mothers. Time for activities for pleasure or for mastery. But for some reason, people aren't being able to fully understand this and give new mothers at least 2 to 3 hours a day of me time, where someone else in the family takes care of the child and the mother can take care of her own mind. So that's very important to do that. Let's make sure. I wanna share a joke. So a very, very famous female stand-up comedian did a Netflix special when she was pregnant. And she talks about mom guilt. It takes so little to be considered a great dad, and it takes so little to be considered a bad mom. Now, if we already know this, let's not perpetuate it for other women who are younger in our lives. Yes, what happens with us is not fair. But the purpose of our lives is to make it better for those who come after us. That's the only purpose. Here's something I want to leave you all with. We talk about kindness, we talk about love. Be around people who make you feel strong. Be someone who makes others feel strong. That's the only definition of love. It doesn't matter if you buy someone gifts or if you cook them dinner, if you are not making them feel strong. One simple question, right? You can all ask yourselves, am I someone who makes every single family member in my family feel strong? If the answer is no, it's time to shift a few things and become someone who makes their family members feel strong. And also because you need your oxygen mask before you put the oxygen mask on others, be around people who make you feel strong. And reach out to us if your family has dysfunctional dynamics. We can help solve it fairly quickly for free. Okay, so I want to leave with just 2 video messages from 2 distinguished mental health speakers from across the world, both in the United States of America. One is Maura Aarons-Mill. She's a Thinkers 50 Distinguished Achievement and Leadership Award winner. She's the winner of 2023 Mental Health America Media Award. She's a Webby honored podcaster and a LinkedIn top voice. So I'm going to quickly share her presentation, okay? Her 2-minute video message. It's only 2 minutes.
It's World Mental Health Day, but it's also Mental Illness Awareness Week. And right now, I want to talk about mental illness. I live with mental illness, and I have for decades. I have bipolar 2 disorder. That shows up as a lot of anxiety, sometimes really, really bad depression, and sometimes creative, hypomanic times when my real entrepreneurial spirit kicks in. It's complicated. And that's the thing about mental illness. It shows up sometimes for the bad and sometimes for the good, but it is around you. It's with the people that you work with, the people that you love, and maybe even yourself. You don't have to talk about it openly like I do, but the more that we show faces of people who show up every day and try to do their best work and live with mental illness, the faster the stigma subsides. My name is Maura Aarons-Mill, and I'm a best-selling author, top podcast host, entrepreneur who sold her company, and mom of 3. Life for me is a constant management of my mental illness. Every day I have to take it seriously, but it's become a piece of who I am. And as I wrote in my book, The Anxious Achiever, the anxiety that is part of it has both brought me down and really pushed me forward. When we have a mental health challenge, we're in relationship with it, we negotiate with it, but it's important that we don't try to deny it, hide it, or ignore it. So I hope you'll join me in not just talking about mental health, which is so important, but acknowledging the millions of us who live every day with mental illness.
Perfect. So I just quickly want to share that for everyone who doesn't know that this actually, happens. Sorry, is my video still visible? Mom, can you confirm?
Yeah,
Okay,
you're visible.
So every single day globally, there are high achievers living successfully with every single disorder, right? Bipolar, BPD, depression, anxiety, OCD, ADHD. It doesn't matter what your constraint is, you can still be successful. You can still have a meaningful, effective life. And more as proof of that, I want to quickly share a final one, and then we'll call it for questions. This is by Naveed Lalani. He's the co-founder of the Founder Mental Health Pledge, which is a multi-country movement, very similar to Innovale, but this is specifically for founders of companies. And I want to share Naveed's message because he's a man, and there is a takeaway I want everyone to take away from this.
Hello, my name is Naveed Lalani. I'm the co-creator and the chair of the Founder Mental Health Pledge. It was created during the March banking crisis, when a lot of founders weren't able to access the capital in their bank account to make payroll. We saw a tweet from a founder who said that they had to stop their founder friend from committing suicide because he was afraid he couldn't make payroll on Monday. And that really inspired us to start this pledge where basically investors and leaders are acknowledging that founder mental health is critical importance and that it should be a business expense and a business priority. Since we started the pledge, we've gotten over 150 VCs and over 500 leaders to sign the pledge. It's the largest movement of its type ever created. And our motto is hustle responsibly. So when you start a company, you're going on a roller coaster, and we're not saying the roller coaster should be a easy ride. We're saying put on the seatbelt. And that's basically what I also follow when I think about my own mental health. I've gone through my own mental health journey and continue to. And what I really think about is anything that happens to me. For sure, I'm very, very open about it to my team, to my mentors, to my peers. Anything that I'm feeling inside, I share very openly, and then I let it go. Then I am very stoic, right? And I separate my own self-worth from the things that I've accomplished. And I think a lot of times people kind of meddle the two together. And I make mistakes all the time, and I basically forgive myself. And I move on, and I move forward. And that's the way that I've been able to get through my own mental health journey and kind of go through the startup roller coasters that I've been on. And of course, it's been a long, process to kind of learn those things. And I'm hoping that with the work we're doing, that Riddhi is doing, the work that we're doing with the Fundamental Health Pledge, that we can really enable more people to feel less guilt and shame, and really to be able to separate their accomplishments from themselves and be able to march forward. Thank you.
With that, I'm going to say one final thing about Naveed's message to everyone. So we are not our accomplishments. Life, yes, accomplishments and achievements are not a straight line, right? They go up and down and squiggly, 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 and all around and round and then up and down. And that's how achievements go. And if you define your worth or your family's worth or your husband's worth or your kids' worth by their achievements, you're defining their worth like this. Now, what we are is what we've learned. And that's the only thing in life that can only go up. Because irrespective of success or failure or rejection or anything else, we learn. The human brain learns. And so you only and only go up. Your brain's data set learns. And that is who we are. You are your learnings. You are not your accomplishments. And it was important for me to show Naveed's message, because as much as we talk about women, women are the best change makers for societies. But there are two groups of people. If women are societal change makers, and let's just say currently there are more men than women running companies, and companies are also societal change makers. So we work with women and we work with founders of companies. So that's both women and men. We change society by working with both. So we have to learn these techniques and then share them with our partners, because men's mental health is as important as women's mental health. The more we care for their mental health, the more they care for our mental health, the more we all care for each other. And hopefully we can actually celebrate the next Mental Health Day with some more fun updates. That was it for me. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and your time to listen.
Thank you, Riddhi Mittal. That was a very, very beautiful and enlightening talk. In simple words, you have taught us how to use them and to be more proactive and help people. Also, the power of breathing. That was beautiful. We have all been taught to breathe in times of stress or something, but why? Nobody told us. And you have today, and thank you for that. So we have a few questions. I think I saw one. Why is mental illness more prominent in current scenario? And is lifestyle responsible for this?
I think there are multiple reasons. One, it's simply talked about more. Earlier, it wasn't as talked about. So we are talking about it more. The whole point of us ending the stigma is that you will see more people talking about it. It doesn't mean it's happening more. It just means you're talking about it more and you're supporting each other more. But yes, the second one is also a contributing factor. Lifestyle has changed quite dramatically. Men haven't fully adapted to working women. Systems of patriarchy haven't fully adapted to support working women. Because of all of this, everyone's mental health is a little wonky. Both men and women are kind of like readjusting to new gender roles in life. And also because of the generational gap, right? I think parents and kids are kind of re-understanding each other in terms of where they stand with each other. So there are a lot of contributing factors. And again, because of work being this like 9 to 5 or 9 to 8, because we're not taught how to go back to parasympathetic states, it is causing us to be in continuous stress, continuous sympathetic. So these are some of the reasons why it seems like it's more prevalent today. Some true, some simply, this is the good news, you're ending the stigma, which is why more people are talking about it. This is exactly what we wanted.
Some of our members are complimenting you for a very informative session and for your expressive smile.
I'm going to quickly take one more question from the chat, if that's okay. So there's
Yes,
a question on social media, and I love talking about this. See, nothing by itself can impact you. It's how you relate to it that causes the feeling and thought and the behavior in you. So even social media, right? I'll give an example. We worked with a high achieving woman who had taken a career break after motherhood, and her career break was 7 years. So she thought that she had gone so behind in life that it was impossible to catch up. So this woman who used to love LinkedIn and love Instagram, she started hating them because they reminded her of what everybody else was doing better than her. When we created this shift in her, we said, when you see someone, if you can be, and yes, it takes practice, but if you can shift and be like, wow, this is possible. If this is possible for them, this is possible for me too. This is so interesting. So every single feed post can be a possibility, can be an idea. You don't have to generate all the ideas of your own life yourself. Your feeds in LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter are generating ideas for you. It's how you relate to it. Do you choose to become jealous? Do you choose to become fearful? Do you choose to become resentful? Or do you choose to get excited that there are so many ideas available for free? The world moves forward when we build on each other's ideas. And there are so many ideas available for free. So it's not social media. So for example, my social media feeds, I'm a very particular person. So they are optimized. So my algorithms are optimized to show me every single person who I want to see. So I have told the algorithms of Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, this is what I like. Now go find everybody in the world who thinks like this and show them to me so I can connect with them. Which means I don't need to do BD or business development or partnerships for my companies. The algorithms do the work for me. So I love social media, but that's because I use it well. So it's never social media or something else. It's about how you relate to it. Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you for that. Can we take one more question? How do we encourage people around us to go into rest and digest mode?
So one is breathing, but first tell them the reason. Never tell someone to just breathe. They hate, we hate being told just breathe. Tell them the reason. Tell them the lion deer story. Humans are storytellers. Humans love stories. Our wisdom was passed from generation through stories. Tell the lion deer story. And then they will want to breathe. And of course, they can go take a walk, they can go in nature, they can go get sunlight, they can, take a shower, they can sleep. Sleep is great, just sleep whenever you want, every time. I'll give one example. So let's say you're feeling very lazy, right? For a few days, lazy. Some people might ask themselves, oh my God, why am I feeling so lazy today? Why do I not want to do anything? That's not helpful. What you can ask yourself instead, which is more helpful, is, why does my body need more rest today? And there's a powerful fundamental shift in the answer if you shift the question.
Thank you for a very simple answer to that. So, can I now request Association President Mrs. Preeti Gugnani to give her observations?
A very good evening and warm inner wheel greetings to all my friends across the nation. Friends, it's an opportunity for us to connect today on this significant day. This day reminds us that what is our moral duty and what we can do as inner wheel members on this significant day. As our minds are as important as our bodies, and mental health awareness is the key to unlocking the full potential of individuals and societies. In a world where we are more connected than ever, it's ironic that we often feel more isolated. Mental health awareness reminds us to reach out and connect with empathy. Healing takes time, and asking for help is a courageous step. We all know this, but we all need to take that step. This webinar, with the courageous and thoughtful steps by both our district chairs, District Chairman 301, Urvashi Mittal, and District Chairman 319, Rekha Sridhar, needs applause. And my gratitude and applause goes aloud for our accomplished inner wheel daughter, Riddhi, our TEDx speaker, who influenced our minds and heart, the CEO and founder of a mental health treatment product, who actually bought in the methods of self-healing on our inner wheel platform. I'm grateful to you, Riddhi. Thank you so much, District Chairman Urvashi Mittal, the proud mom of our celebrated and influential speaker, for bringing in her here and embellishing our significant day on mental health awareness and making shine our international objective and projecting our Honorable International President Trish Douglas goals, which is mental health awareness. And it is on the international platform, and we have made this significant step today all together. And now, friends, we will connect to our next speaker on the mental health illness awareness, and that will be coordinated by our Trailblazer District Chairman, Rekha Sridhar. Over to you, Rekha.
Thank you so much, District Association President Preeti ji. The theme for World Mental Health Day 2023 is mental health as a universal human right. So, and aptly said, the need for spreading awareness of the kind of mental health issues that exist and the assurance that must be given to those who are around us to seek help, plus to assure that it's not a stigma to be identified as a person suffering from mental health is indeed the need of the hour. And it's nice to see IW President Trish Douglas giving us this as the focus area, because that's a need of the hour. Post-COVID, we've realized that more and more people are suffering from these mental health issues, as well as they're coming out and open to express that. So in this regard, I would like to compliment Riddhi Mittal, who was who brought about a lot of issues that are coming up these days, and also giving us the solutions, simple tips to get over these issues. So our next speaker is Crystal Sean. And we all know, apart from the mental issues that naturally occur, there are issues that that are not in our hands, basically, like dementia and Alzheimer's. So Crystal Sean will be talking about these aspects, how we can prevent or probably push the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's. Welcome, Crystal Sean. And she will be introduced by our District ESO, Past District Chairman Shobana Ramesh. Over to you, Past District Chairman Shobana Ramesh, to introduce our keynote speaker. Shobana.
May I say a few words before PDC Shobana Ramesh joins us?
Please.
Hence, the first session is over, and now we will have the next speaker, Ms. Crystal Sean, after PDC Shobana Ramesh formally introduces her. I request you again to note down your questions in the chat box during her speech, and we can take it up from there. Over to you, PDC Shobna Ramesh.
I think she's on mute and she has to be unmuted.
Yeah, I've done it.
I think Shobna is asking the hostess to unmute her. Please bear with us, friends. And I think our first speaker, Riddhi Mittal, had to leave. She has a busy day, and we wish her all the best and thank her for being here so early in the morning in USA. And thank you, Urvashiji, for arranging this.
Thank you.
I just spoke to PTC Shobana and she says she's not able to unmute. I think she's done.
I think she is now.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So a very good evening to all of you, and thank you, District Chairman Rekha Sridhar, for giving me this opportunity of introducing our next speaker. Ms. Crystal Sean is a postgraduate in English with a master's in psychology. She also has a postgraduate diploma in human resource. She has worked as a teacher, lecturer, counselor, and administrator in schools and colleges for nearly 3 decades. Crystal, a simple person, loves to connect with people of all age groups. She has been counseling students, parents, and couples at Mindflow Center connected to Telangana Psychologists Association. She's passionate about creating awareness on counseling and has trained over 50,000 people worldwide. Today, the topic is neurobics. Neurobic exercises are activities that challenge the brain and stimulate development of new neural connections. And we are eagerly looking forward to learning about this evening. We extend a very warm welcome to you, Ms. Crystal, an international certified life coach, personality development trainer, awareness coach, and a social worker. Welcome, and over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hello, dear friends. A warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to be amongst you today on this special day, World Mental Health Day. I just have a small request. In case if there is a power cut from my end, I will be joining from my mobile. So I just have one request. If at all there is a power cut, since morning we had 3 power cuts, unfortunately, but hopefully I hope that it doesn't occur now. And let's get connected, dear friends. As we've been watching how Riddhi Mittal has very clearly and carefully put in everything, how we should overcome all the problems we are facing, irrespective of gender, irrespective of nationality. So good evening, India, and good morning, America, and good day to the world. Dear friends, as we are all gathered here, we are constantly facing on an everyday basis lots of emotional disturbances or maybe mental health issues. But there is a key to it. There's a way to deal with it. Keep yourself busy. Do something new. Involve yourself in some new task such that you are not with your abuser, or do not give your abuser a chance, or maybe you have a difficult situation in life. You could try doing it the other way. So there are always, solutions to your problems. There is no problem, without a solution. Like they say, no lock is made without a key. So the same thing applies in our life. In case any of you are suffering from any given problem in your mind here, deep in your heart, there are ways to come out of it. And of course, there are wonderful people across the world to help you. Maybe the first person, am I audible?
You are.
Yeah, thank you. Across the world, we have many people who will be ready to help us. So dear friends, if you meet the first person who's not ready to help you, please go to the next person. You will find different people. In fact, the truth is the world has
Yeah, no worries. Yes, dear friends, the world has more good people than bad. So let's look on a positive note and just continue our session. So welcome to the world of neurobics, and let us see how we can. It's not only for senior citizens, it is even for little students, the youth, the middle-aged, the housewives, the professionals and non-professionals. Let us see how we can transform lives today. And welcome, dear friends, to this beautiful session, and hope I'm able to do justice to each one of you. With your permission, may I share my slides and hope everything goes well. Let's go on a positive note. Give me a moment. I guess my screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes. It's visible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, friends, here's a beautiful picture. You take care of your external, body. You take care of your, physical appearance. But the main thing is we have to take care of our mind, our brain. Maybe we may be physically fit. We have seen so many physically fit people around us, but they are disturbed here deep in their mind. So in order that you should not get disturbed in your mind, you should not be upset, you should be okay, keep yourself busy, keep yourself active, engage in new activities. And dear friends, neurobics is all about engaging yourself in new creative activities. If somebody is doing something new and you have not done it yourself, then that becomes a neurobic activity for you. If you are inventing your own new activity, that is also a new invention, and that's called a neurobic, activity or a cognitive exercise for your brain. In Hindi, they have this word, jugaad. You try to do it in another way or in a unique way. So that's all about creating it in your mind, either to get out of a difficult situation or, to manage certain problems in your professional and personal space. So dear friends, here, if you should have to take care of your brain. As they say, brain dead. When the person is brain dead, that's over, that's the end. I think most of the surgeries, heart surgery, I think kidney transplant, and there are different transplants all going on. But the brain, as the investigations and researches are still going on, they have not been able to still transplant the human brain. So dear friends, let's go ahead and see. If you have any questions, you could ask me later, and if I could do justice, I will answer them. Dear friends, mental health is a universal human right. Let this re-echo in our ears today, and not today, till the last breath. Because we forget at certain times that mental health is not only mine, it's not only for me, but it is for others as well. So it's a universal human right, irrespective of any part of the world you belong, my dear friends. And let's go with that beautiful theme, which is for 10th October 2023, the beautiful theme, mental health is a universal human right. Yes, friends, neurobics, here we are with neurobics for personal and professional growth. If on the personal front, you're fine, definitely on the professional space, you will really do good work. If at all you're very good at the professional space, you have to work on your personal front. So let's see how we can balance our emotions and our thoughts. Yes, friends, this is introduction to neurobics. It's quite different from the physical exercises. I'm sure several of you may be visiting the gym very often. In fact, twice a day maybe, or maybe once. We are taking a lot of care to look slim and trim, especially when we touch or hit the age of 30 or 40. No matter what age you are, let's continue with neurobic activities along with the physical gym activities. Now, what are neurobics? I guess many of you will already have a certain amount of information with you. Let's go ahead, friends. When I say ocean, what comes to your mind? Any one of you could unmute and share with me. What does the word ocean come to you when I say that? What comes to your mind? What are the thoughts? Yes, friends? Some of you could unmute.
Vastness.
Very good. Vastness. Excellent.
Unending.
Unending. Wonderful. Beautiful. Yes.
Depth.
Yes, ma'am?
Depth.
Yes, depth. In the same way, dear friends, as we are short of time, I can't take a lot of answers. When we say ocean, your brain is just like an ocean. You can think differently. You can overcome all problems. If plan A doesn't work, go with plan B, C, and D, no matter what age you are. But do not suffer in silence. Suffering in silence is also a crime. So use your brain, sharpen your brain, let your brain be creative enough to jump out of any negative situation, irrespective of which gender you belong to. Yes, friends, and in the same way, neurobics also is a notion here. I've just put in a few exercises and cognitive activities, keeping the time in mind. Yes, dear friends, but we have many activities. I'll share a few with you today. Yes, friends, as I earlier said, these are the gym exercises. As you all know, we'll not waste much of our time here. Let's go further. Yes, friends. Is this true? When things change inside you, things change around you. The change should happen within. Only then the change will happen around you. You have to first decide for yourself, do I want to get out of this situation? And when you start loving yourself and wanting to do something for yourself, you become creative. Your brain starts working. Your brain is happy when you love yourself, when you understand who you are. Just as we had our speaker earlier mention that when you're on a plane, the oxygen mask, you should first take care of yourself, wear it yourself, and then save the others. So save yourself, you become creative, you become financially independent. Only then you can save your family, your friends, and of course the society at large. So let the change begin within. Yes, friends, and these neurobic activities are for you to bring a change within yourself and around you. Hey friends, the letter C. When I put the letter C here, what comes to your mind? Quickly, you could unmute and say, what is that beautiful word that comes to your mind when you see the letter C? Yes, friends. Let's be quick.
Confident.
Wonderful. Confidence. Confident. Very good. Yes, dear.
Change.
Pardon?
Change.
Change. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's beautiful. Change. We all need to change at one point of time or the other. You cannot suffer in silence. You cannot be stuck where you are. Do not be in a stagnant position. Keep flowing. Go with the flow. Wonderful, ma'am. I love the word change. I love the word confidence. Yes, dear. One more answer. That would be nice.
Creative.
Wonderful. Creative. Yes, friends, we all should be creative. And I guess the inner wheel over here today is very creative in all that they do. Right from day one, when it was started, till this very moment, a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation has been going on. And yes, it will continue for many, many generations to come. So let's begin with creativity and go ahead, friends. Thank you for the sharing, dear friends. Yes, friends, welcome to the world of neurobics and, welcome to this beautiful session. Thank you for inviting me. I'd like to thank you once again to all the organizers. Thank you so much. Yes, this is me, as already it has been, I've been introduced earlier. That's me. And so I just go on. In fact, my real name is Andrea. And when I take online sessions, when I come in contact with any online training session, I have another name called as Crystal Sean to stay safe, because nowadays there's cyberbullying and cybercrime going on everywhere. Identity theft is going on everywhere. So I request all the ladies over here, all my sisters, I could say, irrespective of gender as well. I would love to say there's a lot of cybercrime going on. Stay safe. Whatever you do, stay safe. And then we go on to the next. Yes, dear friends, please mute your calls. That's already understood. You have any questions and doubts, you could ask me at the end of the session, or you could directly WhatsApp on the given number or email me on this email ID. And I respect your time and presence, and the same way you respect each other's time. That's it, I could say. And stay alert, dear friends. There's a little quiz at the end of the session. Hopefully, we could go ahead without much ado. Yes, welcome to the world of neurobics now. It's all about your brain. It's what you tell your brain to do. You instruct your brain to do something and it will be happy. Dr. Lawrence Katz is known as the father of neurobics. He was, in fact, the professor of neurobiology at the Duke University, USA. He was the former professor. And he wrote a wonderful book, Keep Your Brain Alive. Keep your brain active. Give it new work every day. Of course, students have a lot of new work every day to study new answers and every day, going to the next class and a lot of activities for them to do. And the same goes with the youth, the professionals, the non-professionals. But there are the senior citizens who think that, oh, we don't have anything more to do. Our time is over. And they start feeling low. And so, dear friends, so let's keep our brain alive. and see how simple activities could help us balance our life irrespective of age. Here's a beautiful book. You could get this on Amazon as well. There are about 83 exercises in this book, but in fact, there are more than 83 exercises and cognitive, cognitive exercises available online and offline as well. There are different books available. You can get that. This is one book which is available on Amazon. Yes, dear friends. And of course, the author is Lawrence Katz and his partner. Yes, dear friends, as we all know that we have, the right side and the left side of the brain. The left side controls the right part of our body and the right part controls the left part. So I'll not go much and deep into that as this is not a science class. You will get all the information here once you click or when you click on Google, how and which part of the brain influences which part of the body. And what is it? You could go more deeper. Today, we'll just focus on the exercise as we are short of time. Yes, dear friends, this is how, have a look at it. Yes, friends. We go on to the next one. Mental activities and cognitive exercises stimulates our brain. How? They will reduce your memory loss. Memory loss is completely, take my example. I've been like having this due to a lot of stress, maybe family pressure, or maybe my professional friend. I might have been having this memory loss a lot, but now that has really worked wonders on me, neurobic activities, not only on me, on many of my clients and participants who've been with us. And we are more focused now on doing what we are doing. And in fact, it will also improve memory recall. When you start performing, neurobics, not for 1 day, 2 days, you should be persistent. Consistency should be there. Maybe 21 days or 4 weeks and above. Why don't we do it continuously? And when you start performing neurobics, you are here in the initial stages like this, the red figure. And then as you perform on and on, then you are here. And as you go further and you are a master in neurobics, you become extremely creative, then you are here. We want you to be this evergreen, no matter what's your age. Students could remember very well in their exams if they really, concentrate well on how to perform neurobics in the right way and in the right manner. You go on further with the next slide. Yes, friends, there's a little quiz which you could take part. I have not waste my time there. Yes, friends, what are neurobic exercises? How did this word come into existence? The word neurons. There are some type of brain cells in our brain, and they are called as neurons. And these neurons, with the word aerobics, all of you might have heard these exercises called as aerobic exercises. So Lawrence Katz, he has done something very important. He has taken the word neurons and the word aerobics and joined it together and coined a new word, a new term called as neurobics. They are exercises. And what are these exercises? When we perform such exercises, the cognitive exercises or the neurobic exercises, that enhances the oxygen supply to our brain. And when the oxygen supply is being enhanced, automatically the neurons in our brain, the lifespan will increase and new cells will start growing. And then in this way, we will really live a very happy and, and be alert all the time. Nobody can manipulate you. Nobody can cheat you, no matter what age you are. You become very sharp because your brain is sharp. You're not letting your brain rust. When you do not use your brain, you're very calm and comfortable. You're in your comfort zone. I'm okay with this. No okay with this. You have to try something new. And that's when your brain is happy. And dear friends, yes, we go on with the next one. Yeah, this is how you keep your brain happy by indulging in simple activities. Yes, friends, we go on quickly to the next one. Mind is the powerhouse. As I said, brain dead, that's done. Nobody can help us. It'll take a long time maybe for you to come out of coma, maybe years, or maybe you are in a vegetative state. No, you just cannot do anything. When we stretch our mind, when we start giving activities to our mind, when we indulge, actively in doing something new, which you haven't done earlier, and this is the first time you're doing it, that becomes a neurobic activity for you. And your mind never returns to the previous shape. It's always galloping on a horse and taking you far away into unknown destinations to enjoy the gift of life. Yes, friends. Either you use it or lose it. So keep using your brain, give your brain some task every now and then, such that you become sharp and sharper, and you be the sharpest in the room wherever you are. Yes, friends, let's begin now with the first simple neurobic activity. Many of you already are into it, you already do it, but there are a few people who do not indulge in this activity or do not take part. It's the simple thing, just wave to your friends, waving to your friends and relatives, waving to your colleagues. It's a sport activity. You just wave with your dominant hand. Now here, what in neurobics we suggest, with your non-dominant hand, you wave. Avoid the dominant hand, use the non-dominant hand. Either you may be a lefty or a righty, either ways. So whichever is your dominant hand, you start waving with that hand. In fact, you can use both. When you start, sometimes when I travel by train, I love to travel by train because I get a lot to see, the view out that you can't enjoy in an aeroplane, or maybe by road. You could enjoy on by a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, but a train gives me more pleasure because I'm free. My hands are not fixed on my either the bike, the handles of my bike, or the car. So I enjoy my train ride, or when I'm in the train and look out, there are little children from the villages or maybe anywhere, little children or senior citizens, they just wave back. They don't know who I am and I don't know who they are, but we are exchanging smiles and exchanging goodbyes or saying hello to each other. So this is how wave with your non-dominant hand. In fact, when I look at those little kids outside, I happily wave with both my hands. So I give exercise to both my hands, the right side and the left side, because I know it will impact my brain, the right part and the left part. And dear friends, the simple activity, we are all very, complacent, brushing our teeth with our dominant hand, right hand always. Sometimes when we are brushing our teeth, we don't even know that we are doing it in the right way. We are in a hurry. We are brushing, but we are thinking something else. We are worried about what assignment we have to submit. What is the project we have to submit? So dear friends, let us now consciously start to brush our teeth every day for a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, with the non-dominant hand. Brush with the non-dominant hand. And it seems the dentists have said that if you brush your teeth with the non-dominant hand, you will have very good dental hygiene. Oral hygiene will be really good. The dominant as well as non-dominant. Try it, dear friends. The first few days, it may ache, it may pain, but you're doing it consciously. You're doing it at the moment. You're doing it and, mindful of what you're doing. So let's focus on that simple activity using the non-dominant hand to brush our teeth. And of course, shaving. This is for all the male members. You could try that out and that becomes really an activity called as neurobics. The next one, combing our hair, styling our hair. I hope I have a little comb. Styling your hair and combing it. Comb it like that with the non-dominant hand. Mostly we are with our dominant hand and we love to style our hair very well. But once try with your non-dominant hand, try to style up your hair and see and comb. Is it doing a wonderful job for you? And then if it is doing, that's really good, because you're going to not suffer from frozen shoulders, because many of us at one point of time, we can't lift our left hand or the non-dominant hand. Mostly it's a left hand. You can't lift to comb your own hair. You can't even put up your sari pin over here. I've seen so many of them. It's quite difficult. So keep yourself flexible and use dominant and non-dominant hand to go ahead with your activities. As I said, I was searching for this comb. So you could style your hair with your comb with the non-dominant hand. Yes, friends. And you could also use your palms, your fingers, the left non-dominant hand or the right, the dominant hand. Mine is like the right and the left, right? So here, you can use your fingers, the non-dominant hand, to switch off or switch on the power buttons or the electrical appliances. Stay safe. Look at where you're putting your finger. Do not put it at the wrong place. You may get an electric shock, and that's not okay. So don't put wet fingers. I've done that several times earlier, and I just got a jerk twice or thrice, and that once bitten, twice shy, something like that. So stay safe. Instead of putting your right hand and switching off the plugs on and off, use your non-dominant hand. That's what I'd like to say. And as well, the electrical appliances, try. Some of you are already doing it, but now consciously do it. And that is called neurobics. When you're consciously doing it something in a different way is called neurobics. And then opening and closing the faucets or the taps. Try doing it consciously and even with your, dominant and non-dominant hand, and that's how it goes. Stay safe, because if you keep doing it, in a how do I put it? I put it in this way. If you do it harshly, roughly, that tap may break. So be very gentle. And of course, nowadays you can't get a plumber that easily. And of course, if you get one, he's going to charge you a bomb. It's not very cheap to get a plumber on time and get your tap fixed. And then if your tap breaks or faucet breaks, don't scold me. So be very gentle while you're doing it. That is, be conscious of what you're doing, how you're doing it with the non-dominant hand. Yes, friends, we jump on to the next slide. Shuffling cards. Yes, friends, I guess many of you would really indulge some time or the other, or have been indulging in playing cards. Even I do. When I was a young mother, I had my little children. We did play a few games. We played like this, and it is very easy to shuffle cards like this. Very quick. I'm very quick like this. Of course, playing it with money, that's illegal. I wouldn't accept that. I'm just saying, just for neurobics, just because I have a pack of cards in my hand, don't take it negatively. Just for the purpose of neurobics, especially senior citizens, when you put the pack of cards in your non-dominant hand, you get better control. See, I am just trying to do that. Earlier, all the cards would drop down for my hand. So I'm trying to do it. I need to work more. You need to be just an expert. Just how you're doing with your dominant hand, quickly, the same applies with the non-dominant hand. You have to go. So shuffling cards is one of the beautiful ways you can keep or activate the muscles of your non-dominant part of your body, that is your non-dominant hand. And as well, my dear friends, number 7, writing or drawing with the non-dominant hand. Try it. Who knows? You may be the next genius. There are several people around the world who are ambidextrous. They use both their hands. They gave their mind that thought, why don't I use my non-dominant hand and start writing? And so, my dear friends, they have written a lot, and they're sand painting. I viewed one of the person, beautiful sand painting. Both his hands are bringing the similar picture. He's able to do that so well, draw so well. It's called a sand painting. And of course, we have one great personality. In the next slide, we'll get to know who is that, who was ambidextrous. Any guesses, friends? A great political leader of India was ambidextrous. Any idea? Yes, friends? Any idea? Okay.
Any guess? I think Morarji Desai.
Oh, great, ma'am. Thanks for sharing. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Yes, dear. And dear friends, the 8th exercise, try lifting little things with your toes or feet. With your toes or feet, try it. If it's dropped down, try to pick it up with your toes or feet. That's also a new activity. Of course, don't do it in front of elders. If they have a traditional belief, don't pick up with your feet. Don't, touch with your toes. So, but neurobics suggests give some activity to your toes, the right side and the left side, and pick up small objects. Of course, not sharp objects that will poke you or hurt you. Small, tiny objects, which I will show you in the next slide. Yes, friends. And of course, lifting weights. All the mothers over here who've been, marketing, not marketing, I should say, who've been to the market and have done a lot of shopping for the family, might have had many carry bags in their hand coming home. They might have exchanged the weight from the right to the left and the left to the right, the dominant to the non-dominant. So that's a good way. And of course, if you're only concentrating carrying weights on one side, try shifting the weight equally to the next, non-dominant part of your hand, and carry your hand or, part of your body and carry the weight. Maybe your shoulder sometimes. We put something over our shoulder. Sometimes you could put it this side and balance the weight such that your body receives equal amount of, work. And friends, let's not waste more time and just go into the next exercise. Make use of the mouse with the non-dominant hand. I don't mean the little mouse over here. And in fact, if I see one, I'm going to jump on my chair now. I've been doing that lately. I've seen one and jumped over the chair in one of my friend's place. And friends, I'm talking about this mouse. Many of us now, we are connected to the technology world. All of us are very, well-versed, getting connected to the internet, tech savvy, I could say. You want to use your laptop, and once you indulge using the mouse, you start getting a lot of pain, your wrist pain. There's a lot of wrist pain away. So try balancing and using your left hand or the non-dominant hand to use the mouse, such that when this hand is tired or this wrist is painful, you could use the next one. You could use this. So you become ambidextrous. It's all a matter of the mind. Practice makes you perfect. And yes, friends, let's not waste our time here. Go ahead now. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this is exercise number 8. Try lifting little things with your toes and feet, and help your brain will help you to, to catch that little thing in your feet or with your toes and pull them up. It could be keys, a bunch of keys, maybe a single key also, little pebbles like these, a pen cap, or it could also be marbles. You could have a few marbles, as I have here, some marbles over here. Actually, I thought of having this activity with you and in a practical way, but then that takes a little time. So put down some marbles on on a doormat maybe, and then you could pick, or on a yoga mat, and try picking them one by one with your feet, with your toes, and put them in a basket. Try how many you are able to pick with your right feet and with your left, and see which works well. Are they equal? Or maybe you could try working on that. Yes, dear, little pebbles as well could be useful. And of course, keys. And that's it. Any questions, team? Friends, any questions? Okay, we go on to the next. Hey, friends, it's always a pleasure. A pleasure, I say. It's always a pleasure. In fact, for me, it's a pleasure to learn a new language. Of course, I have a little difficulty with pronunciation, but I'd love to learn a new language. Why? Because it will enhance my social life. I get to meet new people, and they out all of you across the world who are viewing us today. And my dear friends, my sisters and brothers who are here, I'd like to just tell you, please learn a new language. Push yourself a little more to learn a new language. You may never know. You will meet so many beautiful people. You may never like the people who are in your house. You may never like your neighbors. You may not even like the people in your own state or country. But if you know a new language, you can connect with many people. And then you could cross-check and see where you are more comfortable. You will find wonderful friends across the world. You will start appreciating the people around you and people across the world. So learning a new language is a great way to improve your skills, or, to activate your brain cells. And it's a neurobic activity. Yes, friends. The next one, listening to instrumental music. We often are very happy listening to a song, especially Shah Rukh Khan songs. I love Hrithik Roshan, and I'm very happy listening to all his songs. I love the songs from Kite's movie. Then after I came across neurobics, I got myself trained on neurobics. I started listening to the instrumental music, that part of the song. I'm not listening to the lyrics, but to the music. And I try to relate the music to the lyrics, to the wordings. Connecting the music to the wordings, you're giving work to your brain. Just you listen to that music, yeah, this is the movie, and these are the wordings. So your brain is given some work to recall something. So try that. That would be lovely and wonderful. You could do that. And of course, friends, the 13th activity, humming and whistling. Many of us, while cooking, we might have been humming and cooking in the kitchen. And then whistling. I'd like to share an incident here. As a teenager, around about 13 to 15 years, I guess, I was in school, in the 8 to maybe 9 something, I guess that was the time. And I used to go by bus. We had 2 entrances. The girls would enter at one side and the boys the other side, the other end. And while we youngsters, the little teenagers entering into the bus, we had these boys whose school was opposite ours, whistling away, teasing us, eve-teasing, whistling us. But I could forgive all of them today because unknowingly they performed neurobics. So whistling different songs is also considered to be a neurobic activity. But friends, if you do it in public, it's a public nuisance and people may feel offended. So in the presence of, in your own house or your family members or in your own room, try whistling different tunes. Recollect some song and try to bring that and whistle, or, bring a whistle on your lips and try doing that. Every day master a new song, and that is a neurobic activity. You could hum different songs. Instead of singing them word by word, begin to hum, and that's a lovely activity. In fact, now I would love to invite any one of you, if you could whistle a song for us. Anyone here who's good at that? Maybe next time when we have another session, we'd love to have one of you whistling, or you train yourself, practice that irrespective of gender. When you start whistling, you're giving some exercises to your vocal cords and to your mouth muscles, okay? And you will not suffer from, paralysis. As they say, you will be safe. So keep your body in motion. Keep it moving all the time. Let your brain work, and as well as let it coordinate with your body. Let the motor skills be developed as well. And dear friends, the next one is, I'd like to take you here. This is one of the ancient activities. 1 second, just a moment. Give me a moment, please. I'll do that. I just clicked one button and something popped up. Okay, friends. So here, cross your arms and do the pinch squat activities. Cross your arms. This is how you cross. This is an ancient traditional method of activating the brain. We think it's a punishment, but actually this is a beautiful way of connecting to your body and mind. When you put your fingers and pinch your ears like this, I guess you could see me here. It's called as the ear pinch squat active. You have to hold like this, sit down and get up. You may have joint pains, you may have knee pains. Go slow. Don't be in a hurry. Gently, maybe 2 a day, 3 a day if you're a senior citizen. Youngsters, you could happily jump 20 to 30 counts, maybe not more than that. I guess don't do 20 to 30, also maybe 10. That's fine. You hold like that, sit down and get up. Sit down and get up. Start with 1 or 2, maybe 3, increase every day. When you do that, when you sit down holding your ears like this, the ear pinch squat activity, you enable oxygen supply to increase to your brain. The oxygen supply is increased. That's the scientific way it reaches. That's what they say, and that's what research has presented till date. And dear friends, in the earlier years, all the Gurujis, all the people in the ashram, the Gurudevs used to give this punishment. It's not a punishment, it's a neurobic activity. To the child who was mischievous, if the child was distracted in class, not giving his or her attention, they would ask that little child to just stand up and do the ear pinch squat exercise. It's also called as Toppu Karanam, a Sanskrit word, Toppu Karanam. Yes, dear friends, it's here. Toppu Karanam, the ear pinch squat exercise. It's an ancient method to activate the cells or the neurons in our brain. You could see here, there's a beautiful picture here. But nowadays, it's not considered to be a punishment. It's considered to be a neurobic activity. In fact, they are very passionately and diligently doing it in different schools and colleges. If they could do it, why not you and why not me? And why not our senior citizens could try it out? Yes, dear friends. And of course, religiously also, many of them very beautifully, they bow down in front of the deities and give their respects to the deity whenever they visit any temple. Yes, friends. I remember being punished like this. I seen my brother several times being punished like this. The ear pinch squat activities. I guess many of you too might have come across something like this. It's a beautiful exercise. We could all try it out. Yes, friends. We go on to the next part. Yes, dear friends. Focus on this activity with your eyes closed. No visual experience. Close your eyes. Try wearing clothes with your eyes closed. Button. Put your coat on and button the coat up with your eyes closed. How many of us with our eyes open, we are lost in thought. We are lost somewhere. Somebody scolded us or somebody has hurt us. Or we might have lost our job, or we may have a financial crisis going on. We are all consciously looking at ourselves, but we are wearing our dress on the wrong side, or the button may be put upside down, not in the right way. Now, dear friends, if you want to be very active and alert, close your eyes and very consciously, mindfully hold your coat and fix the buttons with your eyes closed. You will do a wonderful job. Keep trying that. You will do it. Not only you should button it, you could also unbutton your coat or your dress or your attire with your eyes closed. Of course, when you're performing this activity, stay safe. You could close your doors and you could do it in your own personal space. Stay safe. And friends, you could also try out this to fold clothes. If at all, if you have a maid to help you, or if you have someone to help you at home, sometimes you could just take over and start folding clothes, just 2 or 3. Close your eyes and start folding a piece of cloth, or maybe it could be just now, this is a little napkin, a towel. So I just close my eyes and I'm just trying to find out the correct way. I'm trying to get it in the right way to fold it such that I do a perfect job. Hopefully I should do a perfect job. Yes, dear friends, I guess I might have. I'm not cheating. Yes, friends, I guess Now I'm going to open my eyes. Yay, I open my eyes. So I've done that. This is how. You're going to fold, and you should be a perfectionist. Fold your clothes with your eyes closed. And of course, place them in the closet. We have many of us who are, taking off our clothes quickly and we are in a hurry. Maybe we just before nick of the time, like you want to change, you don't like it, it's not suiting you, dump it on the chair, dump it on the sofa, dump it on your bed. When you come back, try doing it with your eyes closed and try and see if this works. And if you're lucky, you will really excel in this and your brain will be happy with you. It will be helping you to do extra other activities. What next? What next? Your brain will ask for more. It will be hungry for more. You will begin to love life and live happily. Yes, friends, the next activity suggested for each one of us, try doing this routine activity differently. Concentrate on taking a bath, a nice shower with your eyes closed. I'm sure, my friends, you're going to tell me, yes, ma'am, we close our eyes, of course, at certain points and, take a bath. Of course, when you have soap on your face, you all have to close our eyes. You can't keep your eyes open. Apart from that, once you're done with your face, the other body parts, while you apply soap or while you clean the other body parts, you please close your eyes and do that consciously. How many of us have just taken a bath in just 5 or 6 minutes and jumped out? Maybe 3 minutes too would have jumped out in a hurry. One find it, just relax on a particular day. Maybe in a week, you could take 1 day off or 2 days off and just give some time and just close your eyes and have a wonderful bath. That gives you a beautiful feeling. And of course, personal hygiene also will be enhanced and you will be connected with your body and mind. Yes, friends, we go on to the next one. Hey, friends, I can't see anything here. I guess there are a few marks over here. That's wonderful. Oh, great. Yes, friends, here. Inventions. All the great inventors in the world. Now here we have a few inventors who put some marks over here. Brilliant. They're so creative. They look like little worms to me. Great. So dear friends, all the inventors, all the innovators, and of course, friends, all those people who have been giving their best, who are very creative, imaginative, the indigenous people, who are very practical, who always focus on this beautiful part, originality. I do not copy others. I do not copy others for any given reason. I do my best. I give my best. We have seen several of our friends, in fact, your own friends, you could see, copying you, wanting to take something from you and present it as this. So dear friends, if you are into neurobics, you will kill that word called plagiarism and you will try to be more creative and honest. Like, dear friends, we have here a beautiful friend who has done that. Yes, friends, we come now into the next part that is called as, the scientists. All the innovations that have taken place, they have used their brains very beautifully. They have been innovative and they have succeeded in being the best. So, dear friends, with that, I'd like any questions over here, friends? Yes, dear team? Any questions? May I know if there are any questions? No questions at all?
I think they're all enjoying your talk. I can see from the chat box.
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciating all the exercises you're telling them.
Okay, dear. Thanks, ma'am. A few more and then we are good to go. Thank you, dear. Dear friends, we go on to the next one. Hey, friends, how do you look at the world? I would like you now to unmute yourself. How do you look at the world? Could anyone unmute? I look at the world in a beautiful way. I look at the world on a positive note. You could just give me any answer, whatever comes to your mind. Yes.
I can read something. It's a beautiful place.
Wonderful. Yes, friends, the others? 2 more sharings, that would be wonderful.
Multiple layered activities on always.
Wonderful, multi-layered activities. Beautiful. That's really nice. Yes, team. Any other answer?
One of them says, what a creation.
Wow, great. What a creation. And I am going to add to that creation. Wonderful, dear. Yes, dear. In this way, already lots of things are already created for us. What you have to do according to neurobics, create something new. bring out something new, and then that is called as you giving to the world a few neurobic activities, just the way Lawrence Katz and his team have been offering and sharing with the world beautiful activities for us. Yes, dear? This is a question for all of you who would like to try. What color would you want the sky to be and why? Of course, the sky is blue and a little white. What color would you want the sky to be? Any answers, team? I would love to have a pink sky. What about you?
For me, this is fine.
Pardon?
But this now. So soothing.
Yes, yes, dear. Anybody else? If at all you were given a chance to change the color of the sky, what color would you choose?
Maybe white.
Wonderful.
Right.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yes, team, the others could interact. When you interact, you become creative. We have seen many of our online friends who attend the online Zoom meetings or any meeting online. They are passive listeners. Why don't you be creative? There are no right or wrong answers. All are welcome. Nobody's perfect. So that's what you have to learn. Yes, ma'am?
I would like to choose white because I can paint it any color then.
Wow, wonderful, brilliant, excellent, ma'am. Very nice. Wonderful, ma'am. Thanks for that beautiful sharing. Thank you, dear. Dear friends, when you are in the stagnant mode, I have a fear to speak, or maybe my answer may be wrong, then you check your brain. That's a mental state. Even if I'm wrong, so what? What's going to happen? Nobody's perfect. In fact, nobody's perfect in the world. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to say something funny, and like if others laugh, it's fine. So, okay, friends, thank you for sharing. I really enjoy that. I think many of you are putting up in the chat box. Of course, I am not checking the chat box because I'm conscious of the time limit given to me. Yes, friends, just another 3 or 4 minutes and we'll be done. The word plagiarism. Let's not, the opposite of neurobics. Neurobics is be creative. When you're writing a content or research paper, no matter what you're doing, try to use your original power gifted to you by God. Give work to your brain. And yes, friends, we go on from there. Yes, here's a little quiz for all of us. Let's reflect on these quiz questions. Who is the father of neurobics? Any idea?
You just said Katz?
Yes, Lawrence Katz.
Yeah.
Which part of our body is called as the powerhouse?
Brain.
Wonderful, our brain. What is meant by frozen shoulder?
When it's difficult to move the shoulder.
Very good, very nice. Thank you. How can we enhance our social life through neurobics? Any one way?
Learning new language.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. What is meant by the word frozen?
Still.
Very good, still. Very nice. So don't be still wherever you are. If you feel you're in the wrong place, you're in the wrong relationship, in the wrong environment, or maybe in the wrong professional space, jump out. You have the world is big and unique. Yes, friends, who are cannibals?
Eating humans?
Yes, wonderful, very sharp. Eating one human being, eating another. I just put it up there. And there is a word called as cannibals. Wonderful. I just wanted to test you. In fact, you all are very great. What is the name of the ancient method that was followed to activate the neurons or the brain cells?
Pinching.
Ear pinch squats in English, but in Sanskrit, what is it called? I'll repeat myself. Toppu Karanam. What is it called? Toppu Karanam, a Sanskrit word. Yes.
Toppu Karanam.
Toppu Karanam. Yes, friends, we go from there. When I put L over here, what is L to you in your mind? What's the creative word coming up?
Learning.
Learning. And neurobics is always learning something new. Very nice. What else, dear friends?
3 people have said love.
Love.
Listen. Like. Loving.
Very good. Very nice. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for reading out that. Thank you so much. Yes, dear friends, live your life completely. It's only one life. Do not suffer in depression or anxiety on the special day of World Mental Health Day. I would like to enlighten each one of you to rise up, irrespective of gender. Let's be, neutral on that. Let's not be gender biased. It's only women or only men. We all of us suffer from different types of, stress. So let's overcome and not blame ourselves or others, but in fact, indulge in creative activities, in new activities. Keep yourself engaged now and then. And if at all you have nothing to do, search on the internet what I can do. What's the next thing I can do? How can I, create an income through that? What is the side hustle? How can I start saving up for my retirement? Or if I'm well off financially, how can I influence the life of others? So you could just be like that, learning and creating opportunities for others. And of course, love the world, love humanity. Love is the universal language of the world. Yes, friends, we'll not waste time. Benefits of neurobics, you must be asking me, what are the benefits? Of course, it will improve your memory and your cognitive functioning will be really, perfect. Maybe it will be enhanced. You could say, we can't say the word perfect. Maybe it will be enhanced. You could perform on a better level. And of course, your bones and muscles will be also strengthened and you will do very well. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I may take another 5 minutes if you could permit me because it's 5:31. Is it okay? Would that be fine, dear?
Preeti ji, I hope that's okay.
Auntie, that's fine, please.
Yes, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. So strengthen our bones and muscles, and then as well, your body balance and flexibility. We'll get to know about it in the next slides. Mentally, you'll be alert. Your stress level will be low because you're indulging in activities. You're not spending time brooding. You're not spending time thinking about the negativity in your life. You want to surge ahead. You're a wave pushing forward. Go forward, come back again, go forward and keep, creating waves in the universe, beautiful waves for yourself and for others. And dear friends, it will also enhance the circulation of blood in your body. Good circulation of blood is really necessary no matter what age you are, especially focusing on senior citizens. And of course, it will reduce falls during aging process. If you get that good body balance from the right and the left, your feet and toes and knees and joints and everything, keep yourself flexible, be open to learning something new. Yes, friends. Here, you could go into your room and you could try out this activity. You could take out some notes like this and you could close your eyes. Of course, close your room if you have mischievous children or grandchildren. You could just close your doors and keep a book and a pen and you could take a few notes in your hand and you could just feel the notes with your eyes closed. It's the visual activity is closed here. You don't have, it's not a visual activity. It is like no visual experience. Close it, feel the note and try to identify it and say, yeah, this is a 20 rupee note, maybe, of course. And then here you try this and say, yeah, this is a 200 rupee note. And then you could pick up some coins also, and you could just identify them with your eyes closed. In fact, dear friends, there are people who are visually impaired. They very well identify the notes and coins you give them. They are consciously working. Their brain is helping them to identify. How many of you and of us, I should say, have been cheated when we have been to the market? Of course, now most of it is like online payment. Earlier and even now, we get torn notes, soiled notes, duplicate notes. With eyes open, we are cheated. So let's try this activity and see if we are, quite comfortable, in doing this. And is there a good amount of accuracy? Try it. It's a good neurobic activity. You could try that out, friends. And friends, these are the different currencies from different countries. And of course, if there are any of my young sisters over here and brothers, a word of caution for you, or a word of a suggestion, I would say, and if you could take it as caution also, it's fine. A suggestion, start saving from this very moment. Even if it is a rupee, save it. It will be useful for you when you become a senior citizen or when you reach that level. Many of us are blessed, but there are several of us who have been manipulated and cheated by our own family members or friends, or maybe our business organizations. Save personally for yourselves, such that you may have a dignified death when your time comes. Do not depend on others for any financial assistance. Yes, dear friends, I don't speak much there. Here, this is your motor skills and flexibility will develop when you perform this. Try setting a metronome. This is a metronome, a device, and it's a device like maybe earlier they used this. Nowadays, we have the latest gadgets, that is even our phone could be used as a metronome to, catch the sounds or the beats of our finger, like, snaps. Now here, snapping of the finger like this, you could do, I can do it very well with my dominant hand. But when I try with the non-dominant hand, it's not that easy. So neurobics is doing things with your non-dominant hand. Try snapping your fingers or clapping or maybe tapping, etc. Maybe beating the table. with your non-dominant hand and see how many you're able to do. And check it out. And you could set up a metronome in 1 minute. How much have you been able to complete? And so this activity, when you perform, it enhances two things, the auditory skills as well as motor skills. You could also close your eyes and you could count in your brain. Here you could count. At the same time, your auditory skills are also enhanced. You could hear the sound. Here it is very loud, but here it is very mild. It's not that loud, the non-dominant hand. So let's work on this, especially for senior citizens. Please do try this out. It's very good. Yes, friends. When we see little children clapping hands, so happily they do that. Why don't we clap when we see others winning? Why don't we clap for just no reason or rhyme? We just see somebody doing better. Instead of you saying something negative, just give them a big round of applause. Sometimes you clap on this side using your non-dominant side or the dominant side, or maybe like this. However you try, just clap your hands such that your motor skills have been enhanced. Like you have little beautiful children. You could see the different ways people use their fingers. Yes, dear friends. Of course, if there was time, we could have this activity done by one of us and somebody would have set a record in 1 minute. The last record which I conducted was 160 counts in 1 minute. That is the claps. Yes, dear. This is a digital metronome, as I earlier said. And we pass on. What is GWR? Any idea?
Green-based reprocessor.
How sweet. So sweet of you for sharing. Wonderful. Actually, here it is the Guinness World Record. The Guinness World Record. We have a record holder here with 3 lines. I love that. Whoever has done it, thanks to you. It's just a part of humor. Of course, dear friends, in this way, we have to really take things lightly whenever you come across anything that upsets you. Keep a smile on your face and go to the next level. And that is all about being a woman and about that, being a human being. Face your challenges. Let's see who won the challenge here of the Guinness World Record. Yes, dear. Here, 1,140 claps. The most claps in a minute is 1,140 and was achieved by Dalton Mayer. The Guinness World Record for the most claps in 1 minute by an American. He was the speed clapper and he set up a metronome besides him and he has done that. And that is really great. He broke the record of the earlier person who held the record, that is Mr. Bishop. Yes, dear, this is how he placed a metronome here and did that. You could also try that. We jump to the next slide. Yes, as Riddhi Mittal, our great speaker who spoke earlier, who shared her thoughts and views, count breathing technique. So here what I'd like to suggest through neurobics, count each breath aloud. Conscious, small conscious moments. Count them when you're doing 1, 2, keep counting. I did that. Ask me why? I did that before my session. While Riddhi ma'am was busy with her session, I just got a little time. Of course, I was listening to what she was sharing. And I love the way she said, heal the world, heal yourself and heal the world towards the end. And my dear friends, you could try this breathing technique. It will reduce your stress. When you're angry, when you want to jump into an argument, something irritates you, follow this. Count each breath. Close your eyes, breathe in and count. Breathe in, count 1. Then breathe out, count 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could try that as long as you could hold up and leave. Maybe it could be 8 counts, 12 counts, and more than that. This technique, neurobic technique, it's not a technique, it's a neurobic technique to reduce anxiety, pain, or muscle tension. When I, have a little tiff at home, or maybe with my friends, I have some misunderstanding. This is what I do. I start getting the jaw pain. It starts aching over here. I have this muscle pain here. But when I indulge in this, started doing this, I am a free bird. Nothing disturbs me. I am always smiling, and they wonder how this person is like this, irrespective of the ups and downs. That's what is mental health. Show your enemies, show your friends, whoever it may be, that you can just, show what you really are, not what they want you to be, what they think you are, who you really are. Prove your mettle. Yes, friends, I don't speak much. So these are the different ways you have muscle tension. You could try that activity. It will minimize that effect which you're suffering from, the symptom of stress. Yes, friends. Here, you could also place, just a moment, please. You could also place a tray of flowers. You could ask someone to have this session with you. Place a tray of flowers of different kinds with different, fragrance. Put it on a plate or a tray and invite one of your senior members or children and, blindfold them. You just close their eyes, blindfold them and ask them to pick up a flower, and you could just put it near their nose. Let them smell it and, take in the fragrance and guess the flower. I would advise you, let them not even touch it, because even when you touch, you try to identify it. So you just hold the flower right up to their nostrils here and see that they can inhale the fragrance and identify the flower. You could use jasmines, you could use rose, and you could use ones which are really worthwhile, to smell them. As I've put up a few of these over here, and they have beautiful names, and this has a good medicinal value. You could all check that out later. Yes, friends, as it is short, we are short of time, I may just skip quickly to the next one. Yes, be careful when you are doing this. Wash the flowers, because there may be little insects which could harm or enter into your nostrils, and then it could create problems. See that they are cleaned or sanitized or washed maybe in clean water, and then have this activity. It's very beneficial, because your brain will identify what fly is that. Your brain is working because your eyes are closed. There's no visual experience. You're not even touching it. Somebody else is holding it to your nostrils or up to your nose. So here your brain is activated, and that will identify and recall things. And that is how you help your memory to be balanced. Try playing the musical instruments with eyes closed. All great musical lovers, or you could say the people who play different kind of musical instruments, the masters. You might have seen the masters who play these musical instruments. They really close their eyes. I remember Zakir Hussain, always with his eyes closed, he's deeply playing the tabla. Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar, in different ways. And of course, Lord Krishna. Never forget Lord Krishna. I really love Lord Krishna. The way beautifully he, holds the flute, and he closes his eyes and he gives us a beautiful music from his flute, connecting with the world, connecting with humanity. So here, dear friends, could anyone, next time you play a musical instrument, you'd love to learn a musical instrument, learn it, and on few occasions, keep your eyes closed and then practice playing on it. Dear friends, could anyone identify this musical instrument?
Harp.
Harp, very good, thank you. Yes, dear, we go on to the next one. Yes, friends, yes, this is a simple activity. Use the lock and key. This is a neurobic activity. That is, keep your eyes closed, lock and unlock. Take it out, again, put it right into the keyhole again, search for it. Of course, with your eyes closed. See, I got it right. And then again, you can lock it and you can unlock it. I've done it without cheating. So that's it. You could try it. It's a neurobic activity. Your brain cells will activate you, and you are mindful of where you are putting the keys in the right place. Many of us have locked our doors thinking that we locked it, but we have kept it open on several occasions, maybe our almaras, our closet, thinking that we locked. So try this with your eyes closed. It could be beneficial. Yes, friends. Writing, also you could try. We usually write from left to right. Why don't we try writing from the right to left? Try this out at home. Of course, if we had time, we could do it. Maybe some other time we could try that. Use your hand. We write from the left side to the right side on a notebook or a paper. Try writing from the right to the left. And that's some new activity for you. Yes, friends. This is one of our members who did it in the last session. And be ambidextrous, I said, both the hands. Of course, here when you're doing this, use only one hand. Yes, and then when you finish with the dominant, try with the non-dominant hand, or maybe only with the dominant hand, try writing right to left and left to right. And we jump quickly to the next one. Hey friends, here is the father of our nation, a great person. He was ambidextrous, the Mahatma. One fine day, when he was, not one fine day, I should say, it's like it's like I'm talking about the present or maybe about the future. It's something about the past. Earlier, when he was traveling from London to South Africa in the year 1909, he had to travel by ship for 9 days. And it was not an easy journey, but he spent all of his time creatively. And when he was creatively, writing certain things in his journal, he began to feel his hand aching, his dominant hand. It was hurting very badly. He was having that pulling feeling. Something was really hurting. So he started even writing his journal filling up the journal with his non-dominant hand. And he wrote a beautiful book called as the Hind Swaraj. It is called as the Home Rule book or the Self-Government book. He did it with both his hands, and he's known to be an ambidextrous person. He wrote it in Gujarati, but later he translated it into English. And here is the sample of his great writing. And thanks to Mahatma Gandhi ji.
Time for us to wind up.
Yes, dear. Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. I will just stop with this. Thank you very much. I understand that. Dear friends, I'd like to stop with this and just keep up these slides. Yes, I just give you a thank you note. That's it. Thank you very much. Yes, dear. 1 second. Just a minute, please. Done. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks for the extra 15 minutes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've been all patient, and thank you so much. Of course, time is very important. I understand. Thank you. I stop with that. And friends, I'm glad the power didn't go. Snap off. Thank you. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, team.
Thank you, Crystal Sean, for that very, very enlightening and participative talk we all could share with you. And I could read in the comments that people were enjoying it very much. Thank you again. With that, I request our association president, Mrs. Preeti Gugnani, to make her observations and give her concluding remarks.
Thank you, Vinita ji. Friends, I just love the sentence which said, train your mindset for success. As it is purely and largely our mindset which puts our life into motion. You all must have heard many times, it's all in the mind. If today I decide something mindfully and determined heartily, there is nothing what can stop the success. Once we decide that we will improve things, our potential expands. Can we have the slides, Renu, on the sides? Once we decide that we will improve things, our potential expands limitlessly and new doors will open. Trainer Crystal Sean, the brilliant trainer, awareness coach, counseling psychologist, academician, who has trained more than 50K participants all over the globe. It was a privilege to get this positive insight through this session and the techniques you've taught us. I'm grateful to District Chairman Rekha Sridhar for this purposeful connect today. My friends, mental health awareness, it is just not a trend. It's the necessity in our fast-paced, stress-filled world. It's about giving ourselves permission to prioritize self-care. I'm also thankful and grateful heartily to our PDC, Dr. Vinita Chopra, for being the MOC of the session. Friends, health is not simply the absence of illness. Real health is the will to overcome every form of adversity and use even the worst of circumstances as a springboard for the new growth and development. Also, illness is not something to feel ashamed. It is not a sign of misfortune or defeat. Suffering is the fuel of wisdom, and it opens the way to happiness. Through illness, human beings can gain insight into the meaning of life, understand its value and dignity, and strive to lead more fulfilling lives. So please remember, my friends, your illness does not define you. Your strength and courage do. And when we lose our fighting spirit, we become more susceptible to illness and aging. By struggling vigorously against and overcoming all kinds of difficulties, we can build a happy life. In an age of constant comparison and digital overload, mental health awareness reminds us that it's okay not to be and okay sometimes to be. And one way wherein we can definitely do something about each other well-being is dialogue. Dialogue is a life-to-life exchange that can open another's heart and mind. It is the music of life's inner realm. And today's dialogue with one another will definitely open the new realms and perspective. Mental health is a topic of utmost significance, and it affects us all, regardless of our background or circumstances. We have heard from the experts and gained the valuable insights into how we can collectively address the mental health challenges facing our society and within ourselves. Speakers have been brilliant, both of the young stars. I want to emphasize that mental health is not something to be stigmatized or brushed aside. It is a fundamental aspect of our well-being, and we must work together to create a more inclusive and compassionate society where everyone feels supported. The strongest people are those who show strength strength in front of us, but though not those, but who win battles we know nothing about. That is the strength. In conclusion, let us remember that change starts with awareness and action. These are two things. Let the knowledge we have gained today inspire us to advocate for better mental health resources, promote understanding, and offer a helping hand to those in need. Together, we can make a positive impact on the mental health landscapes in India and beyond. The strength of a nation lies in the well-being of its citizen, and mental health awareness is a path to a stronger and more resilient societies. I hope you all agree with me for this. I really wish to thank you once and again to all the participants on the Zoom today for being there and supporting all the conversation and paying attention to this most significant topic. Thank you for being with us and carrying forward the spirit of the webinar, putting it forward to our communities and our daily lives. I extend gratitude once again to both the district chairmen for doing this meaningful webinar today. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti ji, for those astute observations. To conclude, I would just like to say a statement from the Upanishads, which says that kindness in words creates confidence, kindness in thinking creates profoundness, kindness in giving creates love, and kindness in loving creates happiness. And where does it all come from? It comes from perfect mental health. So mental health is the need of the hour. If you want growth, productivity, success in anything, it is only by mental stability which gives you resilience, endurance, and enhances self-confidence to do anything in life. And I also must say that the attitude of gratitude is the best thing for you to achieve happiness and nirvana. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with you and conduct this program. I now request District Chairman 319, Ms. Rekha Sridhar, to give a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Vinita ji. On behalf of District 319, I take this opportunity to thank Association President Preeti Gugnani for giving us the opportunity to co-host this National Mental Health webinar. I would like to thank co-host District Chairman 301 Urvashi Mittal for being a part of this wonderful initiative. As you all heard, mental wellness is a vast subject and it's practically impossible to cover all aspects. So today we had two young and energetic speakers who touched two diverse topics about mental wellness. Thank you, Riddhi Mittal, keynote speaker of session 1 for enlightening us with mental health and well-being. It was indeed informative. Thanks to Crystal Sean, keynote speaker of session 2, for engaging us with an interesting session on neurobics, a topic which wasn't heard before, at least I don't know about it. So thank you so much. And yes, these kind of exercises definitely do help to work on our brain and help us to be mentally active and fit. So I would like to acknowledge past president of Innovate Club of Gardenia, Pastor Shakuntala, and President Bindu Rajappa for helping us introduce and connect with such a dynamic speaker for today. Thank you, Mrs. Vanita Chopra, for being the master of ceremony and ensuring a smooth flow of the event. Thanks to Association Executive Committee, District Executive Committee of both the districts and any other district that have joined us today. Members across the country, thank you so much for joining us today. The event wouldn't be successful without your active participation. And we hope you enjoyed both the sessions and took away valuable inputs that could help you better your lifestyle. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rekha ji. Now we come to the end of the program, and I request all to stand for national anthem.
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Banga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladi Taranga Tab Shubh Naame Jagi Tab Shubh Ashish Mangi Gahi Tab Jaya Gatha Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He.
I now request Association President Mrs. Riddhi to kindly declare the meeting closed.
The meeting for the national webinar on mental